Hello everybody. Today I wanted to bring to your attention a very worrying problem that affects, in my experience, quite a few Gibson guitars, and that's the problem of a loose or protruding inlay on the fretboard. This problem isn't too prevalent with the newer Gibsons and affects the older Gibsons much more, though I have seen this on brand new Gibsons before. Some are just not seated and fixed into position properly, but the majority of guitars with this issue have some years to them, and this happens over time and often with extreme temperature fluctuations, such as when a musician travels with their guitar, often by air, or the guitar has been stored in various temperature-prone environments. Now let me show you what I mean. Now here's a guitar with this problem, and as you can see, the inlay is protruding enough to catch the string or finger as the note is fretted or bent. This is an uncomfortable feeling for the player and can in this case prevent you from bending the string to its desired position. So let's have a look at how this can be fixed. Now I must warn you that trying to remove the inlay totally often results in chips, splintering and damage to the rosewood fretboard, so it really should be avoided if possible. Now although this looks like a scary problem, it can really be a simple fix if you take your time and prepare things properly. You will need the following items, and it may surprise you that dedicated luthier tools are really not needed. The items you need are a liquid superglue with a pointed applicator that is nice and thin, some Vaseline, or as it's more commonly known, petroleum jelly, some cotton buds or Q-tips as they are known across the pond, some wax-coated or grease-proof paper, some card and a small clamp, or as I use, a capo, which most guitar players own or can buy at a very low cost, some lemon oil, and a craft knife. Now I'll leave a link to the glue that I use, but there are other brands that will do the job, but just make sure it's a thin super glue, as the less mess the better with this job. Now the first thing to do is clean the area with some kitchen roll, and then apply some petroleum jelly to the rosewood fretboard, as this will prevent the glue from sticking to the fretboard. Use the cotton buds to spread the coats of the fretboard, but be careful not to get too much of the inlay, as this will prevent the glue from sticking it back to the fretboard. Just take your time. The next thing to do is prepare your greaseproof paper. You only need a small amount to cover the whole fret area. You also need to prepare your piece of cardboard to sit over the inlay whilst you clamp it in place. This can be the same size as the inlay, but just needs to cover the area that you are gluing, which in this case is the corner and the bottom edge. It's also important to have your capo at hand. In fact, it's very important to have all these things in situ, just so they can be reached and used quite quickly, as the super glue will dry very quickly. Don't let this panic you though, as you will see there is enough time for you to apply all of this to the job at hand, but maybe it's best to do a few dry runs before you actually do the repair. Now with the petroleum jelly in its place, now's the time to apply the glue to the edges you need to fix. As soon as you've applied the glue, cover the area with greaseproof paper, seal the cardboard on top of the paper, making sure that the area you glued is completely covered by this cardboard, and then you fix your clamp or capo to the guitar, and that's it. All you have to do now is wait a few minutes. Maybe this is a good time to make a quick cuppa. Now when you remove your clamp and cardboard, slowly peel off the greaseproof paper and your inlay should be glued down solid. You will have some glue spill on the inlay, but most of this should scrape off quite easily with your fingernail. The next job will be to remove all the petroleum jelly from the fretboard and give it a good clean. When that's done, you will inevitably have some super glue left on the fretboard and inlay, regardless of how carefully you've applied the Vaseline to the fretboard. But don't worry, this can be removed carefully with the edge and point of a craft knife. Again, take your time, be gentle and careful, and scrape in the same direction of the grain, back and forth until you have removed it all. When you have removed all the glue, you may still find that this leaves lighter areas where you have removed the glue and this is now fresh wood, and we deal with that by simply adding some lemon oil to the fret. In fact, this would be a great time to clean and re-oil the entire fretboard. When you have finished this, the fret you repaired should be totally unnoticeable from the rest. Can you spot it? So now you can see just how easy this frightening fix can be. And as I always ask, if you enjoy the content I create, please take the time to like and subscribe. It literally costs you nothing but a few minutes of time, but helps me to continue making these free independent videos and reviews, and also helps spread these videos to a wider audience that may well be in need of some free help and advice. So until the next time, As always, thanks for watching.